What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Southern Tier Brewing Company, and they're out of Lakewood, New York, and this is their Hazelnut Deluxe, and this is a part of their Blackwater series. So they're calling this one an Imperial Stout, and on the side of the label here it says ale with natural flavors, and then underneath that it says made with a milk sugar, aka lactose. It comes in at 10% alcohol by volume, 25 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is just over 6 weeks old. So we have another Blackwater series beer from Southern Tier, and I'm really excited about this one. The last one I reviewed was their peanut butter cup, which to me tasted like buttered popcorn. A few of you agreed with me, some of you disagreed. Some folks said that this one, or not this one, but the peanut butter cup tasted like caramel or toffee, some kind of like burnt caramelized sugars, which I could see, totally could see that. But regardless, I was not a fan of that one, so I hope that this is a redemption for them, for myself personally, because I like Southern Tier, I like their Blackwater series, and this sounds pretty damn good. So they have a little spiel here on the side that I'll read because I'll forget at the end, like I usually do. It says, Hazelnut Deluxe showcases the complex, luxurious, nutty character of hazelnuts intertwined with whispers of chocolate and roasted malts that balance the 10% ABV for a delicious anytime treat. So yeah, pretty excited to give this one a go. Let's crack it open, get in the glass. I also want to give a huge shout out to a very good friend of mine and a fellow beer tuber, Paul, over at PABrewNews. I'm reviewing this a day after he posted his review of this. I did not watch his review. I don't want to be influenced by his tasting notes and what he thinks of the beer, but I just want to give him a shout out. He's a great guy, deserves way more subscribers, and he is probably the most honest beer tuber of that I know. He says it like it is, and I want to watch his review after this one. We've been disagreeing about 50% of the time, maybe even more so, on some of the beers lately, which just goes to show you everyone has different palates. But I always appreciate Paul's honesty, and like I said, he deserves more viewers. Go check out his channel. I'll post a link in the description box to his channel and that review if I remember. I'm old, sometimes I forget, but I'll try to remember. This looks beautiful in the old school Southern Tier glass here. But yeah, there's alcohol legs I can see as I swirl. But yeah, this is pitch black. Probably more dark brown, but in the glass and on camera, it's going to look pitch black. Had about a finger of a, I'd say, light brown colored head that is now dissipated to a thin film. Hold it up to the light. Little bit of ruby red hints here at the bottom, nothing else. But yeah, kind of plays the role of what you're going for a 10% hazelnut Imperial Stout. Let's get a nose. Yeah, it's hazelnut. It almost gives me Nutella vibes. But like if there was a super like 50, 60, 70% cacao-like Nutella, if that like existed, because it doesn't smell like overly sweet. It has that nutty, like rich hazelnut nose, but then it's like darker chocolate, even baker's chocolate. A little bit of a roasted malt character, some vanilla, even a little bit of like a dark fruit. I'm getting like a dark grape. But yeah, they're saying hazelnut Imperial Stout. Yeah, I see it. It doesn't smell like over the top sweet or like sickly sweet like some of these pastry stouts can get. I mean, I've had a couple like the French Toast ale from them, which I guess technically is an Imperial Stout, but the French Toast, I did their scoop recently. A lot of those are just sweet. They're just sweet on sweet. They're adding lactose to it and just makes it even more sweet. This doesn't smell like that, even though there is lactose in here. So that's nice. So I feel like there's a nice reserved balance kind of nose. Let's get into the taste. Cheers, everyone. Ooh. Wow. What just happened? All right, it's not as bad as the second time around, but the first time, everything was beautiful for about 2 seconds. Like, yeah, there were dark chocolate and hazelnut, roasted malt, vanilla, and then the back of the palate has this very dry and quite astringent, yeah, just like I don't know. I wouldn't even say it's a bitterness. I don't know what that is. My palate's starting to acclimate to it, but man, it woke up my palate. But I didn't really dig that. It was like I've always said this before. I don't love extremely dry beers. That first sip was like instantly. I had no saliva in my mouth. And my tongue was, I mentioned this before, like a cat tongue, like it feels like sandpaper. But it's getting a little better, but it is extremely dry. Okay. Did not expect that. Buying this one, shout out to the aforementioned Paul, it's a bit thin. 10% lactose. I'm thinking at the very least this should be like higher side of medium body, lower side of full. This is like high. This is like a touch over medium body. For 10%, that is definitely thin. Does it ruin the drinkability for me? No, but like if I'm sitting down and wanting to enjoy something that's 10% an Imperial Stout with hazelnut, I want something a little bit richer, a little bit thicker, so it does impede it to some degree. I don't know. It's definitely thin though. Mouthfeel, despite that lactose, there's a moderate carbonation here. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit more creamy and robust, softer. So carbonation is a bit high for the mouthfeel, and the body a bit thin. Kind of disappointing. Put the rest of this in here. I don't think the end of this is going to really matter in here, but the flavors. I will say this: I am getting up front. I'm getting a rich hazelnut, like right at the front of the palate. There's a rich hazelnut flavor, like again, like a roasted hazelnut, or not even that. Like Nutella, because it's mixing in with a dark chocolate right at the forefront. Then there's a roasted malt, a little bit of vanilla. As it passes through, though, that kind of dissipates, and it just finishes full on dry. There's a mild bitterness, but there's just an astringency. It's almost, it's like if you've ever had a beer that has like some harsh carbonation. It's like that on the back of the palate, but it's not a carbonation. It's like a harsh astringency, or just like, I don't know. It's hard to describe it, but I will say this. I like the first half of the palate. Like, I think the first half of the palate has a sweetness that I enjoy, has that chocolate, more of like, a dark chocolate, like a 40 or 50% cacao bar mixed in with hazelnut, like a hazelnut spread, like Nutella, which is chocolate and hazelnut. But this is like a little bit more of like a less sweet Nutella. It's just the finish kind of, I don't want to say it ruins the beer, but it definitely brings it down a level as far as the enjoyment goes. This is, dare I say, not cohesive. It's not bad. It's nowhere near as bad as the peanut butter cup for me personally. That beer I gave, a 2 out of 5, one of the worst Southern Tiers, if not the worst Southern Tier beer I've ever had personally to my palate. This, it didn't really redeem that one all that well. I don't dislike it. I don't really love it or anything. It's just, I wish the first half of the palate carried through completely. I didn't wish there was that huge dryness. I didn't wish there was that like harshness on the back of the palate. And the body mouthfeel being a little bit thin, kind of a bummer. So I will say this, 10%. Maybe the boozy aspect of this one is the harshness, but I don't think so. I'm getting a little bit of a warming in the chest, but I'm not really picking up like an alcohol astringency on the palate. Maybe that's what it is, but it's not coming off as that. So I think it hides the alcohol pretty well. Yeah, I'm going to give Southern Tier's Hazelnut Deluxe a part of their Blackwater series. Best I can do on this one is like a high 3.5, 3.55. I don't know. Like that's, to me, this is a decent beer, and that's where I would leave it. I wouldn't buy this one again. I don't think, if someone handed it to me, I'd drink it, but I don't think I'd buy it again. Price point availability here in the Buffalo, New York area. We're not far from Lakewood, about an hour and a half or so. These are anywhere between $14 to $16 a 4-pack, depending on where you are. I'm sure out of state, probably more expensive. I know some of these are more expensive because I've had people come to other reviews of Blackwater series beers like, oh, I paid $18 a 4-pack, or I paid $20 a 4-pack. So your mileage may vary depending on your location, but here in Buffalo, New York, $14 to $16 a 4-pack. And availability, you should see this wherever you see Southern Tier at some point. This is one of their newest releases along with their scoops, which I reviewed, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago. But I'll leave you with this. I think if you like hazelnut and you like the Blackwater series from Southern Tier, give it a go. But based on my review, you're probably not going to enjoy it as much as other Blackwater Imperial Stouts go. They make so many better beers. I want to go and watch Paul's now because I'm curious. Again, Paul and I were very different on that peanut butter cup. He actually liked it, but again, I'm pretty sure he got like caramel and toffee and didn't get as much as like straight on peanut butter. He liked it way more than I did, which is very rare for that to happen nowadays with new releases. It's usually the opposite way. So I'll be curious to see if he enjoys this one or he dislikes it or whatever. But Paul, I'm going to go watch yours. And again, I'll post a link in the description box to both his channel and his review if I remember. Because again, love Paul's reviews, deserves way more subs. Beautifully honest individual. Yeah, anyway, if you've had this one before, post in the comments section. Was it comics, like COMICS? No, post in the comments section. Let me know what you thought about it. I'll be curious to see if there is, like, again, one of the, the varying degrees, because I feel like that peanut butter cup was a very polarizing beer. Is this going to be the same? I don't know. I think on Untappd, this got just under a 4 out of 5. I think it was like a 3.96, 3.97. Significantly lower than that, which is a rarity. Southern Tier kind of missing for me lately. It happens. I don't know what beer I'll pick up from them next, but yeah, kind of disappointing. So anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.